Hello and welcome to Off the Shelf Reviews.
I can't believe I forgot the Halloween decorations.
And I'm Gary. And today we're going to review and discuss Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives, which released in 1986, written and directed by Thom McLoughlin. Ian, why don't you give us the synopsis?
Well, the story follows Tommy Jarvis, adult Tommy Jarvis now, who has decided that he must venture out and prove that Jason Voorhees is dead. During his confrontation with the corpse, he accidentally brings Jason back to life. And as Jason heads back to possibly Camp Crystal Lake, we follow Tommy as he tries to help the police department stop this evil, crazed monster.
So, you just can't keep a franchise down, can you? You can kill the main villain, you can have a copycat replacement killer, but when the studio goes, we need more money.
Yes!
Bring back Jason! That was the mandate for the next Friday the 13th movie.
Yeah.
And this time around they hired Thom McLoughlin. And I don't really know too much about this director.
No, I didn't check his stuff.
He'd worked on he'd go on to work on the Friday the 13th TV series for a couple of episodes, which has nothing to do with Jason Voorhees.
Yeah.
He also directed, I think, a couple episodes of Freddy's Nightmares as well.
Oh, right, so he went on to great heights.
Well, I just like the fact that he's worked with Freddy and Jason in his career.
Yeah.
But in order to secure the contract with Thom McLoughlin, Thom wanted to spruce up the Friday the 13th franchise. He wanted to add another element to it.
Okay.
That being kind of the comedy. But Frank Mancuso Jr., who of course is running the Friday the 13th series, said, okay, but don't take the piss out of Jason. And Thom McLoughlin went, all right. That's fine. And so what we got here is a film that's almost very meta in quite a few places, fourth wall breaking.
Yeah.
So much so that it would actually influence Kevin Williamson to go and write Scream many years later.
Right.
So I was like, you know what, this is probably, thinking about it, one of the earliest horror films I can think of that broke the fourth wall, went meta or self-referential to other horror movies.
Well, wasn't there, I'm sure there was a reference in the first or second Friday the 13th with that old crazy man Joe who kind of talks to the camera at one point about the camp being cursed. It was kind of like a little twinge, at the audience, be like, you're here to watch a horror movie, to watch people get killed.
But I think that's also just part of the fun factor of this film. Now, one thing that catches me off guard right from the get-go is just the atmospheric forest shot with the smoke and the moonlight before we get the cemetery. I was like, oh, this is a very Hammer horror approach, and apparently that was also the inspiration from the director.
Nice.
Who only had a budget of $3 million, but the film still earned $19 million.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Unfortunately, this is the first Friday the 13th movie to not gross more than $20 million. So this actually shows the drop now in income or earnings for this film.
Well, at the same time,
I also blame the films before this one.
Right, yeah.
I thought the quality started to dip drastically.
It's what you look at what it's going up against with this. You had maybe Nightmare on Elm Street 2 or 3 around 1986. So, the competition was out there, but horror... They hadn't established themselves as these franchise characters yet. Like I said, Jason had died, come back as a massive, Michael Myers, he'd already lost his movie in number 3 and he's making his comeback. So, teens wanted to go and watch horror movies, but at the same time, we weren't willing on paying for it to go to the cinema. We were going to wait for it to come out on VHS, and watch it at home with our friends. I had missed out on Jason Lives. I think I did 2, 3, and then I jumped to 8, and I went to Manhattan, and then I came back to 1, and then I came back, and I didn't even really see this one until it was out on DVD box set.
Sure.
And that was just before I watched the Psychic one, which we're not doing. I'm just telling you right now, we're not doing it. But the like I said, with this idea of Tommy Jarvis and his storyline, it kind of really makes the Jason Voorhees character or series kind of, the backbone of it. Like, we've got this backstory now between these characters.
Because this is the third film now in, I guess, a mini trilogy of Tommy Jarvis stories. And they did ask the actor that played Tommy in the previous film if he would reprise the role, John Shepherd, but he refused it because he's become a born-again Christian. Right. And he was like, I don't want to touch these horror movies anymore. I'm done with that. So I'm really glad that he kind of did that. And so we end up with Thom Mathews playing Tommy. And of course, we all recognize him in Return of the Living Dead. So it's really great casting here. Yeah.
And though I'm questioning, I was saying this to Gary before we turned the cameras on, I kind of feel that Jason might be the innocent in all this whole situation. I feel like society may have taken the wrong kind of angle with him, because we watched Tommy drive up with his buddy to the graveyard where they've got Jason Voorhees' body, where they've buried him since the fourth movie, right? So he was killed at the end of number 4 by younger Tommy. And then the body's been buried, and that's where it stayed. The 5th movie's happened, but that was a copycat killer. And now Tommy has left the mental institution. He didn't kill his sister. He didn't kill the woman from the mental institution at the end of number 5. All he's had is nightmares. And to overcome these nightmares, he's left the institution with his buddy, and he's going to go and look at Jason's body to convince himself that Jason Voorhees is dead. Fine. I'm fine with that whole idea. What I'm against, mate, is you digging up the fucking corpse, opening the coffin, and then jamming a large metal rod into the fucking chest of it.
Well, I mean, Tommy had a momentary lapse of judgment here.
Momentary.
But it's not surprising when you consider the trauma that Tommy has had inflicted upon him in his moments with Jason. And we hear the auditory flashback of young Tommy killing Jason, and that's what urges him, this anger, it's not even like a thought, it's just a reaction that he has to seeing Jason, even in this decrepit state.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, technically, though, thinking about it, like, he only really had one interaction with Jason, which was when he shaved his head and then he chopped him up with a machete, like, the whole 5th movie was somebody completely else.
Oh, yeah.
But I do love this intro. I do love this setup. This is a lot of the time, this is what I think of when I think of Friday the 13th. The lightning, the thunder, the graveyard. We watch this rotten corpse just kind of get out of the grave. Well, first he grabs Tommy, doesn't he, and tries to pull him in the grave, but then he comes out, and they've even brought him a mask.
Well, Tommy brought him the mask back because to throw it in the grave.
But it's not damaged. It's a new mask.
No, it's still got the crack on it.
Oh, I didn't notice the crack. Yeah, but it's got the red arrow on it. And it's like, I'm going to bring it back to you. And we watch it. Like, I love the fact that Jason's literally got, like, one eye. Yeah. And his face is all kind of rotten.
He is a zombie. He is. I mean, he gets out of the grave like I don't know, like the mummy. Just like a ghoul, and slowly walks towards him. And he's also killed his friend at this point.
Oh yeah, ripped his fucking heart out.
Punched his heart out.
Yes.
And I mean, there was a great comedy moment earlier with him, but I'll get into that later, because we got this. This is one of my favorite moments in the film as well, where he's already thrown the gasoline at Jason and around. And he's got the matches, and the moment he strikes the flame, the thundery showers just douse it immediately, and he just looks up at Jason like, huh? And Jason's just like, I'll wait for you to finish, and he keeps trying to light another match in the rain. Jason's like, it's not gonna light, mate. It's not gonna light. No. So he just panics and runs.
He just leaves Jason stood there because he's gonna race now to the cops and warn them that he's accidentally brought back this unstoppable psychopath.
Yeah,
it's like, he's not the hero. Tommy is not the hero.
Well, he is, but he's inflicted upon himself. But still, he is. But yeah, I mean, how was he to know that all of a sudden Jason was going to become this supernatural resurrected zombie after he got Frankenstein?
He would have known the backstory from like the second, third, and fourth movies.
Well, you just told me his only interaction with Jason was the time he shaved his head and killed him.
Yes, but he would have looked into it as he'd grown up. He would have found the information of where the grave. I mean,
he would have done, but there's still no element to say that Jason was teleporting or was unkillable.
No, true. I mean, like I know that it modifies. Like in Friday the 13th Part 9. you know, his heart gets eaten by somebody else because the Necronomicon's involved. So, like, the whole storyline for this movie was just, we need to bring him back.
It not only was it bringing back Jason, but for me, this is the rebirth of the franchise.
Yes.
And also, I will say that this film, since the original film, feels like a movie to me.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't feel like the other Friday sequels. They just felt like, I don't know, like studio mandated films that just, you gotta have nudity, you gotta have teens, you gotta have a killer, and it's gotta be this, and this. Whereas, but also just visually, those other films, they don't look as professional as this one does. And for me, this one just feels more like it has that film quality to it.
I think it's the generational thing. Like, with the other ones were like early 80s, and so they still have this kind of early 80s, late 70s feel about how filming is.
So yeah, you're probably right there.
And then with this 1986, we're talking mid 80s, almost, you know, the start of the 90s. So everything takes on this more vibrant, colourful aspect. Like, I felt it with, like what you said, this whole resurrection of Jason now. We have just got him now as a killing machine. He is walking from the graveyard back to the camp, and everything in his path is a victim.
But that's what I also think, like, what is this film's main strength is that we have a protagonist, a hero character that actually has some urgency in the film.
Yeah.
Because he knows Jason's alive. He's trying to warn the police. He's trying to warn everybody that Jason is back and that he's an unkillable zombie now.
Yeah.
And, you know, just the one of the oldest horror tropes is like, the adults won't believe the kid about the monster.
Yeah.
Which is fine. But it's the fact that in all the other Friday the 13th films, it's just teens wandering around in the woods or in cabins going, hello, is anybody there?
Well, that's still happening in this.
Yeah, I know, but at least in this one, we have this through-line story of following a character trying to stop Jason from the beginning of the film.
Yeah.
Not in the last act of the final girl moment,
which,
you know?
Which, like I said, which is why I think Jason is the victim of this, because he would never have come back. None of these campers or counsellors or people would be murdered.
You say that, but at the same time, I'm like... In my opinion, I mean, this is me just throwing this in
right,
there.
okay.
In the previous movie, the cop said that Jason Voorhees was cremated.
Yeah.
Jason Voorhees is dead. His body was cremated. He's nothing but a handful of ash.
You know that for sure, Mayor? Were you there? Did you see him cremated?
This is your Jason Voorhees here.
And so when we find Jason's body dug up, that doesn't look like a cremated body to me.
I know.
So, or also, I'm pretty sure you don't bury cremated, but maybe you do. Maybe you did with Jason. But I think the body has reformed itself, and so the lightning hitting it was just a catalyst to speed the process up. But Jason was already regenerating.
He was going to burn the body, but he didn't. He hit it with the stake first, and then he decided to burn it 5 minutes later. And then Jason's walking around.
Jason's killing so many people. He can't be innocent.
He did no, and well, because he's full of anger. The guy lost his mum, and he was left to drown by counsellors. He's got a real thing against counsellors. But the paintball sequence, I think, is... Like, I was sat there and I was watching this film for the review, and I was thinking to myself, man, is this the one with the paintball? I can't remember if this is the one with the paintball sequence. And then you see the paintball, and I'm like, oh yeah, here we go.
It feels like a scene out of the Police Academy. You know, you're just waiting for that whimsical, stupid music to play as we watch these idiots. She's boasting that she already took out the other guy who's basically untouchable at paintball.
Yeah.
We catch up with him later, who's angry that he's been shot macheteing away at the bushes.
Yeah, I love that. Such a shiny machete.
Yes. I'm like, oh, Jason's going to get a new toy. And he does. He tears this guy's arm off. He throws him at the tree. Blood splattered over the smiley face. And you're just like, that smiley face was in the tree before, right? Right? But yeah, again, a great Jason moment where he's just looking at the machete and he's like, oh, I've got another arm. It's like he didn't know his own strength.
The guy playing Jason in this, CJ Graham, like, he kind of gives Jason some real mannerisms. And I know, like, a lot of people go, well, Kane Hodder is Jason. But each one of them throughout the movies has given Jason like a little bit more as he goes along until you get just the hulking mass of flesh that we get in the latest movies. In this one, I really like the way he walks, the way he quick turns. It's like he's listening. It's like he's thinking.
He has his own James Bond intro in this film. And that shot in the cemetery where he turns and he's got the pole.
Yeah.
Oh, that is like iconic Jason visual right there. It really, really is. But a small bit of trivia for you. Apparently, the first actor that they got in to play Jason in that cemetery scene is different to CJ Graham that we see in the rest of the film.
Yeah.
And they fired that Jason actor, unfortunately, because he was too fat. The producers went, that Jason, he's too bulky. Get rid of him. We need another Jason.
Really?
But, yeah, which is a shame. He's uncredited, the original Jason, for the cemetery scene anyway. But yeah, I do like the fact that they play up the zombie Jason, and he no longer sprints after people.
No, he just walks really fast.
Really fast.
Yeah. And when he jumps out the tree for the fucking paintballers, like he was waiting. Like Jason climbed a tree and waited and then dropped down and then just triple decapitation all at once.
Yeah. He got a new toy.
Yeah, it's
and he got a
amazing.
triple kill right out of the bat with it. But he's not done with his machete yet. We're jumping the kills around here a little bit, but we catch up with two other camp counselors that are on their way to the camp.
Yeah.
One of them is Tony Goldwyn playing Darren.
Yeah.
You might recognize him from Ghost.
Yeah.
Or the Belko Experiment.
Oh, yeah,
I believe
yeah.
he was also the voice of Tarzan as well. But this is one of his earliest film roles here. And this couple are on their way there, but they stop in the middle of the road because Jason's there. Just waiting. How long has he been waiting there, do you think?
Just teleported, just dropped right in. Yeah.
True. And again, we get another, I guess, self-aware moment where she's like, I've seen enough horror movies to know a guy wearing a mask in the middle of the road in the middle of the night. It's a very bad idea.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Darren, we better turn around.
Why?
Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
But Darren's like, no, I'll take him on because Jason nails their tire with his stick, and he pulls out this tiny little pissy ass pistol. I'm like, this motherfucker's like 7 feet tall.
Well, to be fair, at this point, Jason has never received a gunshot wound, so.
Well, alright, but I don't think it's gonna do anything, especially this tiny little pop gun.
Nope. And it doesn't.
No.
And he gets impaled and thrown over his shoulder. And then Jason rams the pole right through the windshield of the car.
Yeah.
Now this was they said that they could only do this take once, this stunt.
Wow.
And you can see where Jason aims and where she ducks to is
Yeah.
out of the way. But if you watch, it goes through and then it follows her. And it almost Gordon stabbed her. No safety here.
Ooh.
But the fact that the impact, when he hits the windshield, because of the impact, it kind of took it with the force.
Right.
And it almost impaled her for real. That was also the director's then wife as well.
Yeah, then.
But she falls out of the car and Jason's like, I'm gone.
I was sat there questioning, like, I know he's going to come round and he's going to stab her through the head, but it's literally like he disappeared and hid behind a tree for her to relax, to then jump out again.
Yeah. Now, I always blame the video games giving us the actual explanation of him teleporting, because
Yeah.
it feels like he is. But yeah, he stabs her. We watch her American Excess card floating in the mud. Don't leave home without
Like
it.
she's trying to give him money after he's impaled her fucking friend.
Still, yeah. Now, I gotta bring up, at this point, the MPAA. Here to ruin every fucking person's fun in a horror movie.
Right.
All of the kills in this film were heavily censored and cut by the MPAA. They went, no, you can't, it's too gory. No, you can't, it's too bloody. No, you can't decapitate that person and put it in the film. So you'll notice all the kills in this film, they're over the moment the kill was happening. It cuts.
Yeah.
And that's, MPAA sticking their dicks in.
But then, in fairness, like, I'm playing devil's advocate. I kind of like that. Because, like, we, up to this point in the series, we'd had Jason going around doing loads and loads of kills, and they were pretty sweet. But, as you said, the franchise was starting to really dumb down. So you needed the film to have something else other than just gore and kills, because that never...
Boobs.
Yeah,
And guess what? This is the only Friday the 13th movie without any bare boobs.
Right. But you've got to have that stuff not in it for people to go, that's what makes the films great, so that they'll stick it in the next one. You know, when franchises, they start losing money and people start stepping in and putting their fingers in. When you start losing money, that's the worst thing you can do for a franchise, and they'll always come back and go, no, we need to put more boobs in, we need more blood, we need more guts. I mean, we know where Jason goes to after this. So the MPAA, good for you. Thanks.
Now fuck off. Let me enjoy my movie.
Tommy at this point is stuck in jail. He spends a lot of this film locked up.
He does.
He does. Like he immediately gone to the sheriff, Sheriff Garris, played by David Kagen, and Sheriff Garris is like completely against this whole idea. He thinks Tommy's a madman. He thinks if he has been desecrating the body, then it's his fault. And he even heads back to the sheriff heads back to the cemetery to investigate, but. You know, coincidentally, when Jason had killed Tommy's buddy, the buddy's body had fallen into Jason's coffin, and they just basically threw the soil back on top of it. And that's where we get kind of the cemetery workers' fourth wall break of looking at the audience going, who enjoys watching zombies come back to life? You're like, me?
Yeah, exactly.
Don't judge me.
The film knows.
Some folks have a strange idea of entertainment.
But we've also got Megan Garris, played by Jennifer Cooke, and she takes a real liking to Tommy.
Straight away. And of course, this angers Dad.
Yeah. Now,
I do like that the Dad character, he's not just the typical angry cop douchebag.
Yeah.
But he is actually multi-dimensional in terms that he does care for his daughter.
Yeah.
I like the scenes where he's arguing with his daughter and she finishes his sentences. He's just like, there's still a real family love there.
Yeah.
Despite the frictions of her being a teenage girl who's falling for the bad boy who's locked up in the prison cell.
But it's his fault. It's Tommy's fault.
Yeah, but he's
Dad's
also...
right. Tommy is a dick for doing all this.
Yeah.
But you get some really crazy sequences. Like, you get this escaping car sequence where, you know, like, they get Tommy out of the cell and jump in the van. And they're bombing along, and Tommy spends a lot of this ride with his face in Megan's crotch, and you do get that shot of her crotch, which she's like, you know, she's flirting, so she's forcing his head back down, she's dodging all the cops, but then they get pulled over again, and Dad's right there.
Yeah, with a shotgun.
Yeah, and throws Tommy right back into his cell again. It's like,
all the while this is happening, we're following Jason offing all of the counselors.
Oh, yeah.
One at a time.
Yeah.
We follow Court and his girlfriend, who are in the winnebago. And, of course, we've got plenty of Alice Cooper song tracks in this film, too.
Yes.
And now, this actress was originally going to be in the previous Friday the 13th film, but she refused to do nude scenes. She was let go, but brought back for this one. And again, refused nudity. She was asked, the director was also like, I don't really care if you do it or not.
But we need the rules to follow.
Yes.
We need the sex, the drugs.
But Jason kills a bunch of people in this film that are not drinking, not smoking, not having sex, not doing drugs. He's just killing people wherever he is on his way to Camp Crystal Lake, which has a new name now.
Yeah.
And of course, it being only a few years, you'd think everyone would remember Jason and Camp Crystal Lake. But...
This is it. Like, I always started to get confused. I was confused from number 4 if it was still Camp Crystal Lake. And number 5, we're not entirely sure if that's Crystal Lake. Number 6 is Forest Green. They don't even say they changed the name.
One of the few Friday the 13th movies to take place on Friday the 13th within the film world.
Yes, it is. I just do love that. Do you know what the date is? It's Friday the 13th. It's like, I see what you did there, Phil.
Well, he picked the right day to pull this shit.
What do you mean?
Happy Friday the 13th.
So back to court, and Jason disables the power. They flap around, figure out the power's been cut, it's been frayed, so they decide to flip the thing back on a battery mode and drive it out of there. And Court is having the time of his life driving this thing, listening to his Alice Cooper while the girl's flying around in the background.
Stupid.
Of course, Jason takes this opportunity to take her into the bathroom stall and...
Well, I love that. The fact that while they were out, he just snuck in and hid in the toilet. He didn't just walk up behind
To
them
kill them,
and smash their faces together and just walk up. No, Jason went, It's like he does actually make choices in this movie. Like at this part, he takes the girl and he pulls her into the toilet so that while the music's playing and the car's going all over the place, he can't hear her dying.
Yeah.
And so Jason smashes her head through the wall and then walks out and stabs Court in the neck.
In the ear.
In the ear, that's right, yeah. And the fucking winnebago flips over, smashes. I mean, you get the... I'll always remember the back of the videotape box. I remember seeing it in the video store of just the image of Jason standing on top of this overturned Winnebago and me thinking, like, fuck, how did that happen? Was he driving it? Like...
Now, apparently, that was the very last scene shot of the movie was the wreck of the Winnebago, crashing.
Yeah.
But I don't like. It feels like a fart head moment here,
right?
You know, where they were like, let's put C.J. Graham playing Jason in the Winnebago as we flip it. They didn't need to do that. Because in the next shot, Jason pops up out of the top. And I'm like, you could have done that as a separate cut. Well, it is a separate cut. He didn't need to be in there. You didn't need to nearly kill him.
That's fucking amazing.
I mean, C.J. Graham is not a stunt actor either.
No.
But he does all his own stunts in this film.
Wow.
Which is incredible.
Yeah.
But yeah, him jumping out on top, the smoky background, the moonlit forest, the fire, and Jason on top. It's like one of the most imposing shots in the entire franchise, and that is just like it's a big picture.
I don't know about imposing. I mean, I'm gonna jump to it now because I kind of feel like we're in that mood of discussing Jason's kind of mood in this movie. Like, did he choose not to kill the kids, or was he distracted?
It was the director himself said he will not have Jason kill kids because Jason has the memories of being a child at a camp.
That's exactly how I feel, and that's what I mean when I feel like he is the victim. Like, Jason is this merciless killer. He could go into this room of children, and he makes it back to the camp. What, you know, the sheriff's getting all this information being drip fed to him that, you know, he's got dead counselors here, dead counselors there, people are missing here. You know, Tommy's still going on that Jason Voorhees is walking around, so he's got to go and investigate what's going on. And Jason makes his way back to the camp, kills a couple of counselors there. And they've got kids. All these fucking kids have turned up to enjoy the campness, and they're all in bed. And one of them I thought was quite a funny in-joke was there's this little kid called Nancy
who's having bad dreams.
And that there's this evil man in her dream chasing her, and they're like, oh, there's nothing to worry about. And she's the one who's kind of confronted by Jason because he literally walks into the bunk where all the kids are asleep and they're all lying in their bed. He doesn't do anything with any of them, but she's awake and he turns and he looks at her, and I think that's a great shot of the turn and the kind of just the stare down because you can't see Jason's eyes because of the mask. But then the cops are immediately there, and so Jason hears the cops and goes off. He could have killed the kids. He chose not to.
Yeah.
Because of his memories. And so that, in a way, makes him, like, I know it doesn't make him innocent because he's a murdering psychopath. But he's choosing not to kill a kid.
So he's killed so many other people. I don't care.
Because everybody else fucked him over. He kills camp counselors because they let him drown and killed his mum. He kills cops because all they've ever done is attacked him on sight.
Don't get me wrong. I root for Jason in the majority of the movies too. But when Jarvis is involved, I'm like, come on, Jarvis, deal with this zombie, will you?
Come on, Jarvis.
And we see him, he's driving around, he's got like books of the occultism.
Yeah.
Like, so he's just turning to the first chapter, like, okay, how do I deal with this? Next time we see him, it's like, I got a plan. I know how to stop Jason. I need the police's help. I need you to go and get me these supplies. Oh, okay, Tommy.
Well, this is it. Like, he plans to drown Jason.
At the place of his creation or his first death?
So what was he doing at the beginning to set him up, set the body on fire?
He wasn't a resurrected occult zombie at that point, was he? He was just a corpse. So
he's still a corpse. He's just walking around.
So while he was trying to run around and warn everybody, he was also trying to teach himself about zombies and mysticism. And I don't know.
All right, okay. Well, it's just building up lore for the film, isn't it?
Yeah, we of course catch back with one of the other counselors. She ends up getting pulled out of the window.
Yeah.
Her head gets twisted off,
Yes.
and we find her decapitated head later.
a great kill.
We follow this other character who was putting the other children to bed. I quite liked her. She was fine.
Yeah.
But she dies off screen. Well, she gets a blood splat across the window. She gets thrown through it, then thrown back into the room.
And he fucking chops her up. Like, the room is a bloodbath.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think it's good, like I said, with the MPAA, they were like, look, you can't have gory kills. So it's like, right, we can't show the bodies, but we can at least show...
Yeah. I think it was like, I think his name was Roy, the other paintballer. We never saw what happened to him.
Oh, yeah.
And the cops also find all of his mutilated limbs.
Yeah. It's
like, geez, Jason, man.
Jason.
Kill him, yeah, but he's hacking him to pieces.
And the kill on the cops are pretty good. Like, one of them takes a dagger to... Like, Jason's hiding behind a tree. And then steps out and nails the fucking cop in the eye with a dagger. Like he stabs one of them and then he crushes Megan's dad like in half.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. That's brutal.
Yeah.
Brutal. Now I want to bring up something that the film does really, really well. And again, it is like you might not be aware of it, but if you've seen the film many times, you see all of these jokes that are there in the script or in the edits in the filmmaking.
Yeah.
And going back to what I was saying earlier with the friend at the cemetery, where they're digging up Jason, he's like, I don't know if my heart can take much more of this. And then, gets punched through the heart.
Yeah.
The cemetery, the caretaker,
when
he's wandering around drunk and he's drinking from his bottle and he's like, oh, you'll be the death of me. He throws it in the air, Jason grabs it, breaks it, and stabs him with it straight away. So it's like, nice little moment there.
Nice.
Does he think I'm a fart head? And it cuts to all the kids going, yeah!
Yeah.
Does he think I'm a fart head?
When the cop gets killed with the dart to the neck or to the head, the very next cut is to a dartboard.
It is.
It's great moment. There's another one where Jason is on the RV after he's just killed the two teens.
Yeah.
And it cuts to the sheriff going, what makes you so high and mighty? And it's just like the film is littered with these.
Yeah.
And there's so many of them, like it happens so quickly you might not be aware of the cuts or the match cuts or the edits or the jokes, but it's just great. Great. And like I said, none of this takes the piss out of Jason.
No.
But it keeps the film light, and what the director said, he wanted to make it entertaining. And that is what's achieved here, I think.
I think that really works well, because it's a nice... You don't realise it's kind of a comedy horror until you really look back at it. But there are just moments where you're like, oh, that kill looked awesome, even though you didn't really see anything. Then there's a joke, and you're like, ha ha ha. And then there's another kill, and you're like, oh my God. It's like, nice healthy balance. So Tommy and Megan have turned up at the camp. They've realised that obviously some of the counsellors are dead. They're realising that Megan's dad's missing as well. And Tommy has just come up with the idea that he's going to get a really big boulder, put the chain around it, and if he can get the chain around Jason's neck, he's going to just drown him in the lake. Or just or anchor him, I suppose, because he doesn't breathe. And he lures Jason out. And you get that wonderful shot of Jason just literally walking into the water. Yeah. You know, even though Freddy versus Jason would completely, break that because...
Yeah, Jason's afraid of water now,
He's afraid of water. Yeah. But he just literally walks down and then he sets fire to the lake. You know, so you got all this wonderful camp imagery. Like if you've been following it for 6 movies, end of the movie is mainly just ended on a lake, on a boat. And here we have our hero... Jason comes up out of the water. They have their tussle. All the kids on the lake watching as well. And Megan's watching. He gets pulled down into the water. And, he manages to get the chain around his neck. And like I said, I jest when I say Jason is the innocent. You know, we want Tommy to win. But the fact that Jason kind of keeps him down under there as well, it does give you the idea that Tommy could die here as well.
Well, he kind of does.
Yeah.
He drowns. They both kind of drown here. And they both float. But of course, she runs in, rescues him. Actually, not straight away. She gets on the... She goes to rescue him, but she realizes Jason's still alive.
Yeah.
She activates the boat, and then she blends him up in the engine.
Yeah.
In the propeller blades.
The propeller blade slits his throat or hits a jugular blade, and he just kind of fucks up, doesn't he?
Temporarily dead again.
Yeah.
But she grabs Tommy, gets him onto land, and resuscitates him, and all the kids are like, yay!
Yeah. And Tommy has his last moment, like he's finally been defeated, and you're like, it's the end of the franchise!
Cut to Jason's eyeball still looking around at his surroundings. He's like, how do I get out of this? God damn it.
Pull yourself down and walk along the fucking bottom.
Drag the rock along with you, I mean, it's a satisfying ending.
Yeah.
But like, I know the franchise continues way beyond this point, but we never see Tommy Jarvis again. He's never really mentioned again. And I honestly think, like, there needs to be a 13th Friday the 13th. And I would love for them to bring back this actor to play Tommy again, and actually just make a sequel to this one where he goes back to the lake where he's left Jason floating there. Again, to make sure that Jason is dead, and like he did at the start of this one.
And he accidentally resurrects him somehow.
No, Jason's already gone.
He's
already gone this time.
Teams have done it. They've accidentally...
Yeah, something else has happened.
Yeah.
I don't know, Jason's protecting his weed garden from the remake. I don't know. But just something like, I think it's a great premise and setup. I know it's been done, but this film's just done it. But like, they have to make a 13th one.
I think I'm trying to remember. I think Jason Goes to Hell. There are little nods, like in. Like,
it's been a long time since I've seen that.
Yeah, but I remember you got the bounty hunter, and he talks about the only way to defeat a Voorhees, because Voorhees keeps coming back, and they've got the Necronomicon, because supposedly Voorhees' mum had been involved in that. But I'm pretty sure he hints at Tommy and tried to defeat him. Like,
there was actually, to go off on another tangent, there was an idea that they had in the original script of this film, where the reason why we find out that Jason has a burial, why it was paid for. Jason Voorhees' dad was going to make a very small appearance.
Voorhees.
Daddy Voorhees. It's a plot line that has not existed in any of the movies. They wanted it, but they were like, it's too much to bring in Daddy Voorhees right now when we're resurrecting Jason. So we'll push Daddy Voorhees away, and it never got picked up again.
I've always believed that Jason's dad was Sloth from the Goonies.
Ian, what are your favourite scenes from Friday the 13th, Part 6?
Oh man, I just had such fun with this movie. I mean, I could say all of the kills were just really, really great. Like we said, the Winnebago flipping over and him standing on top of it is such a wonderful sequence. Him crushing the cop in half, like, just the kills. You're just looking for those special effect moments. And
shall I just recount all the kills for the film?
Yeah, go on there, knock them out.
Right. We start with the heart punch, then we get impaled and thrown, then we get the head stab and drowned, and we get an arm ripped off and impaled by a tree, followed by the triple decapitation. We get the double machete impalement on the bike.
Nice.
We get the face smashed through the bathroom wall.
Yeah.
The knife in the head. We find the severed limbs. We get the head twisted off. We get smashed through a window and then shredded. We get a dart to the head, followed by a head crush, a backbreaker, and then a double drowning if we include Jason or Tommy, or neither, because neither die.
Yeah.
But they both drowned.
Man, that, just that list alone is
18 kills.
So satisfying. And, I mean, I'll finish off my favourite scenes just by saying that resurrection sequence at the beginning is just iconic. Jason Voorhees. I have my moments with Michael and I have my moments with Freddy, but when Jason comes back in number 6, even with that silly James Bond thing at the start, I'm like, I'm in.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like, all the kills, very memorable in this film. Even though the MPAA had their wicked way with the film, the ideas are there. Your imagination carries on those few extra seconds that we know were in there. They are in the extended or deleted scenes on the discs.
Yeah,
If you buy the collection, you can see all the gory goodness. But yeah, the atmospheric, moody opening, the cinematography there, the resurrection of Jason Lives, that turn in pose, the eye shot, is fantastic. I love it. One of my favourite sequences in the entire franchise. I love the couple in the Volkswagen Beetle, and the horror reference there. Great moment. I love the caretaker turning to the camera and saying, "Some folk have a strange idea of entertainment." Great nod. Jason's triple kill with the machete, even though we don't see the heads roll, great moment. The James Bond intro, I've got to bring up Harry Manfredini's composer score here. He is absolutely on form. It's one of those unifying things about all of the movies, is the music is a constant.
Yes.
They don't mix and match it up in every different film, but it remains, and it makes you feel like you're watching a Friday the 13th film, regardless of quality. His score is great.
Don't shoot, please! You in show business, kid? You sure know how to make an entrance.
Back to the cemetery scene again, just as Tommy's about to light the match, and the thunder and lightning hits, and Jason's reaction, absolutely gold. Comedy gold right there. Ian, do you recommend Jason Lives?
I definitely recommend Jason Lives. I think, just like I said, the Tommy Jarvis section of the Friday the 13th franchise is just kind of really gives it that. If we didn't have Tommy Jarvis, I don't think the franchise could have lasted as long as it did, because we needed a hero to step in to try to take on this immortal undead zombie. I think Gary is absolutely right. I think we need to bring Tommy Jarvis back again for him to take on maybe a reimagining of the character, or bringing the actor back. Hey, bring Thom Mathews back as the dad of Tommy Jarvis, and he's got Tommy Jarvis Jr. with him. I don't know. I just know that, once I finished this film and I was ready for the review, I wanted to watch the psychic one, even though it's stupid, because it kind of follows on from this movie. I wanted to go to Manhattan because it's just more Jason. But a lot of the times I'll just go back to young Corey Feldman again and start Tommy Jarvis all over again.
Sure. Yeah, I'm hands down absolutely recommending Jason Lives. I think this is the best Jason movie and the best Friday the 13th in the franchise. They really started to have fun with this installment. The jokes, the edits, the leap to undead supernatural Jason. It has a fresh energy and a more involved story or plot with actual character urgency. I felt earlier installments stagnated. This one rejuvenated the franchise. Jason needed to come back, and in this, they do it well and in style. Great resurrection. There are some good kills in this. However, they are overly censored or cut away soon, but they are inventive and brutal, and not always bloody, but effective. The makeup and effects are great, and Jason really looks like the icon of slasher films here. Great cinematography, awesome sets, and well edited with a great score by Harry Manfredini, coupled with Alice Cooper. All the actors are fine, and Thom Mathews was great in the lead role, delivers the part well, made it his own, and carries it well. There might be no nudity, but it makes up for it in every other department. This is a fun horror comedy where they take Jason seriously, provide plenty of kills, and ends the Tommy Jarvis trilogy of movies. Despite not the ending of Jason, there will always be new blood. As nothing evil ever dies. Thanks for watching Off the Shelf Reviews.
Some folks have a strange idea of entertainment.